fans, welcome back to Mind for Combat. So if this is the first time you checked out any of my content, please like the video and subscribe for some of my future content. Help me get this platform as big as possible so I can speak to as many of you fight fans as possible. That's why I'm doing this, so let's get the channel growing. So now back to the video. So for this video I'm going to be breaking down the main event in UFC's Fight Night card between Raphael Assuncao and Marlon Moraes. This is an important fight in the UFC's bantamweight division because in my opinion the winner of this fight is going to be a clear-cut #1 contender for the bantamweight title as they can be. It's a big fight, it's a fun fight, and it's a rematch between two of the best bantamweights in the world. You've got Raphael Assuncao, who has been one of the best bantamweights for about as long as the division's been around. He's 11-1 in the division on a 4-fight win streak. He's 1-1 with TJ Dillashaw, and he even holds a win over Marlon Moraes. Versus Marlon Moraes, the former World Series of Fighting bantamweight champion, who's won 3 fights in a row, has looked exceptional, knocking out both Aljamain Sterling and giving Jimmy Rivera his first loss in like a decade. And is on a 3-fight win streak since his loss to Raphael Assuncao. So this should be a really fun, really important fight in the division. And if you're as excited as I am for this fight, then we're looking at a really good time. So now let me get to the figures, the facts, the stats of the fight before I get into the actual technical breakdown. So let's look at this. So Raphael Assuncao, he is 36 years old. 36 years old is old. It's especially old if you're a bantamweight. It's old for a fighter, and it's old for a bantamweight more so because in the lower weight classes, you rely more so on your reflexes than a heavyweight would. So it's very important to note that he is getting up there in age. Raphael Assuncao has had a long, successful career in the UFC, and he probably should have fought for a UFC title already. I feel like age may be a factor here, because he's fighting Marlon Moraes, who at 30 years old is very much in the prime of his career, very much in the prime of his athletic fighting career, has got easily another 4 or 5 years of high-level fighting ahead of him. That's something that bears witnessing. Their fight records. Raphael Assuncao coming into this fight, he is 27 wins with 5 losses, as opposed to Marlon Moraes, who is 21 win, 5 losses, and 1 draw. So there's not a huge amount of difference in the fight. They've obviously, in the experience, they've obviously fought each other before, and they've both been around at the top of the bantamweight division for some time now. Okay, so the reach. Raphael Assuncao has a 66-inch reach, and Marlon Moraes has a 67-inch reach. Matter of fact, I think Raphael Assuncao is 66.5, so only half an inch reach disadvantage for him. That's not really going to play a massive factor. Raphael Assuncao is 5'5.5" tall, whereas Marlon Moraes is 5'6". So in terms of size, they're practically the same size. As Matt Goldberg would say, virtually identical. So there we go. Their fighting styles. Raphael Assuncao started off as a BJJ fighter, but over the years he has transitioned more into a stand-up Muay Thai fighter. He loves to kick the legs a lot. He's definitely a stand-up based fighter. And Marlon Moraes, he is a dynamic Muay Thai striker. He gets finishes, he's explosive, it's almost like a mini Edson Barboza. So Marlon Moraes, so they both have that. This is a fight that will be decided on the feet. Key wins. Now, Raphael Assuncao has a lot of great key wins. So he's got wins over TJ Dillashaw, he's beaten Marlon Moraes himself, he's beaten Aljamain Sterling, he's beaten Brian Caraway, and he's beaten Pedro Munoz. All great wins, particularly the TJ Dillashaw win. Marlon Moraes, he's got wins, his most recent 3-fight win streak, they're all key wins. So he's got Jimmy Rivera, who he knocked out, Aljamain Sterling, who he knocked out. He beat John Dodson, that's a good win. And he beat Miguel Torres back in World Series of Fighting, back when he was only 6 wins and 4 losses. I remember seeing that fight, my mind was blown. And I'm a huge fan of Miguel Torres, so that kind of broke my heart. But anyways, we're cool. I'm over that now. Issues to be considered in this fight. So for Raphael Assuncao, the issue definitely has to be his age. At 36 years old, you've got to consider, is he still at his peak? And he's also been very inactive. That's another issue to consider. His inactivity could start to pose him issues in this fight, and he only fought once last year, and he's had a couple of years when he didn't fight at all over the recent years. So his inactivity is something to consider. And for Marlon Moraes, something that there isn't any key issues to point out, but is the previous loss to Raphael Assuncao going to be playing in his mind? That's something to the psychological advantage that Raphael Assuncao is going to have into this fight. I think there's witnessing, and that's what I'm going to put as Raphael Assuncao's X factor. He's got a previous win over him, And for Marlon Moraes, the X factor to me is definitely going to be his speed. His speed, he is incredibly fast, and now he's more comfortable in the UFC. I think we're going to be seeing a better Marlon Moraes, and I think Raphael Assuncao should expect a better Marlon Moraes to be fighting. Now let's get down to the fight. How do I see the fight playing out? I see this fight playing out on the feet. If you see my video breaking down the Jose Aldo Renato Moicano fight, much like that fight, I think this is going to be a fan-friendly fight on the feet. Raphael Assuncao will probably be more inclined to get into a chess match on the feet, whereas Marlon Moraes is going to be looking to play checkers and just smash. I think Raphael Assuncao is going to have to be really tactful and maneuver and use a lot of, have solid game plans if he's to win this fight. If he's to win this fight, it's going to be based on his game plan, on how he strikes, how he engages, does he mix it up, does he shoot for takedowns as well. And I think that's all important parts. What he needs to do is wear Marlon Moraes out, take this fight into the deeper waters, and I think he's going to have a cardio advantage over Marlon Moraes, because those dynamic, explosive strikers, they normally tend to struggle or get out of breath a lot more so than fighters like Raphael Assuncao, who's maybe not as explosive. I think what we're going to see though is we're going to see Marlon Moraes come out. He's going to be a lot more comfortable in the UFC. He's got beautiful stand-up, and I think on the feet he's going to have the edge over Raphael Assuncao. And if you saw the previous fight, a lot of people thought Marlon Moraes won. I thought the right decision was made, but if you saw the previous fight, I think judging by that fight, and I think Marlon Moraes has definitely improved since then, we're going to be seeing him have the edge on the feet. I think we're going to see him more relaxed, more comfortable in the UFC. I think we're going to be seeing him showing off his speed, and I think he's going to put some pressure on Raphael Assuncao, who at 36 years old may not have everything he once had. And although yes, they only fought a year and a half ago, things change in a year and a half, particularly when you're at that age, and I think that's going to be a key factor here. The inactivity, the age, I think it's all going to bear witness in, and I think Marlon Moraes is going to start to take over the fight. If Raphael Assuncao's to win, I think he's gonna have to be real tactful, real veteran like in how he's to win this fight. But my official prediction is Marlon Moraes to get the win via decision, winning early rounds, piling up the early rounds, and maybe Raphael Assuncao comes back later on, but I think it'll be too little too late, and we're going to see Marlon Moraes walk away with the victory. Fight fans, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. If this is the first time you checked out any of my content, like I said, please subscribe to my channel. And yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Mindful Combat.